Collective, what's going on? Welcome into the channel. Happy new moon in Cancer. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through for the new moon. So let's get into it. We are in Cancer season, obviously. New moon in Cancer equals Cancer season. And, you know, the energy is starting to lighten up a little bit. Like, we're starting to see things kind of give way, break, etc. Things that have kind of been long-standing or taking a really long time to move through, etc. We're starting to see things shift and change and move and getting a little bit more direction under our belt, so to speak. This new moon definitely helps cater to that. Cancer energy is amazing, in my opinion, in that it really gives us the opportunity to just kind of love on ourselves, support ourselves, finding out what makes us feel strong and stable from that value of support, right? Like, if we don't have a sturdy foundation, what good can we do, right? Eventually it's going to come crumbling down type vibe. And a lot of what we've been moving through, a lot of the changes that are happening are highlighting places where things aren't necessarily on sturdy ground. Pluto is a major player right now, as well as during this new moon, kind of heightening some of the intensity that's been going on. But we also have a lot of positive transits as well. We have a lot of positive support. And so there's this balance of kind of like, yeah, you can go down the dark path or you can rise above and actually fight for. A lot of it is about like fighting for ourselves. Saturn in Aries, learning the lessons that we need to learn, tweaking the things we need to tweak so that we're coming out on top. That's why I like to start these readings off with an energy cleansing, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles we might be coming into. It's a great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a really great way to personalize these collective readings. And I do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are just interested in a realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're feeling strong, grounded, supported, like I was talking about in the very beginning, that's where we're manifesting happiness and fulfillment from, right? We can't do it if we don't know what we want or if we're disconnected from ourselves. And I would love to help support in whatever way possible, always. So definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, with that, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama. All right, so what I was hearing as we were doing that is things are a-changing. Maybe we kind of already know that, right? There is this value of Pluto's in retrograde right now. And as I was talking about before, it is kind of like amplifying the intensity of this new moon. It's definitely, it has its tension towards the sun, which the sun is kind of our ego. So those places, it isn't kind of, it is our ego. So those places that we're feeling a little bit more like we don't want to be inconvenienced, or we want that quote unquote fantasy to kind of work out in our favor, it can be hard to overcome those things, right? It can be, 100%. It can be hard to like navigate the challenges that we're dealing with, especially around this full moon, because I was reading, I really like this one astrologer. It's called the Astrology King. Definitely check him out on the interwebs. But talking about how it can be destruction or it can be evolution, right? So we kind of have this decision making going on right now, and it's not all cognizant. It's not all like we're sitting down like, okay, I'm gonna choose to like go down the dark path, you know, whatever. It's when we let the ego take over, right? When we let the ego kind of dominate and make choices from that space, instead of kind of taking that step back and having more of a bird's eye perspective. Right now, both Saturn and Neptune are in Aries, and they're in conjunction, meaning they're right on top of each other. So they amplify the energy. Right? And it's learning to, that basically means it's learning to trust ourselves, learning to trust our instincts, stop avoiding things that like we keep getting messages around over and over and over again, and start doing something about it, right? 100%. Yeah, because like, here's the thing with, if you're dealing with narcissistic energy or dealing with people that are just really, really self-absorbed, it's not going to go anywhere. And that's kind of, it looks like that's where what you're seeing during this new moon, right? You're seeing new moons are really good times to set new intentions. It's like when we have gone through, we see what's working, we see what's not, and then we're like, okay, like let's go back to the drawing board and really figure out how we can adjust some of this stuff that isn't working. And that's exactly where you're at, right? You have ideas, you have visions, you have goals of how you want things to look, but it's almost like it keeps hitting that proverbial brick wall is what I'm hearing. And a lot of it is like, okay, well, in our blocked energy is the yes card. So you could feel like you're just down on your luck for some of you is what I'm hearing. Or like no matter what you do, it's really hard to get away from people who are really narcissistic or just, like I said, just too self-absorbed to kind of be aware of what's going on, you know, for you or whatever. Like it's not reciprocity, right? Like a narcissist or whatever cannot be in a reciprocal relationship, unfortunately. And it kind of looks like you know, like that's where you're finding yourself, even if you're not dealing with the same person over and over again. It kind of has this energy of like getting yourself stuck into the same situations. And there definitely are some difficulties, like we talked about, that Saturn, maybe you're dealing with community, friends, relationships, things that kind of have to be sorted, things that are bringing up some challenge today. Jupiter is also tensely aspected to Saturn. So Jupiter is our fortune, it's our abundance, and we're kind of having to wait. That's what it looks like. We're having, again, there's been this theme in the collective. Definitely check out the the weedings. You're weeding. No, definitely check out the weekly readings as well as your side. We've been talking a lot about how like things have been a slow go. There is this call to be patient, you know, and it's kind of hard because the way your energy is coming in as Queen of Wands, you're jonesing a little bit, right? You're jonesing to see like how things are going to manifest. And, you know, here's the thing. I feel like as much as like certain things are not going well or they're not moving or you're not seeing the results that you want, it does feel like that silver lining blessing in disguise, because it does look like even if you are kind of dealing with people, situations who are kind of difficult, however you're showing up, whatever you're doing is making them afraid. You know, it's making them feel a little nervous. It's making them feel a little untethered. And the Queen of Wands is also someone who's really good at standing in her power, you know, and you're doing so in a way that feels non-offensive. Like, I don't hear that you're like going around trying to like control and manipulate and dominate the situation. Fire energy can definitely do that. That's usually more the King of Wands though, for sure. Queen of Wands is a little bit more vibrant and charismatic. And so you're having a better approach and you're looking at it through this lens of like, okay, well, if this is how it's going to shake out, then I'm going to have to make this decision, right? When things kind of come to these blocks, these obstacles, it looks like you're being way more rational, but also like very creative and inventive with your approach, meaning like you're not staying stuck, you're not getting pushed down. Yeah, the challenges are there and they're overwhelming, and you are probably dealing with someone who just like doesn't want to budge just because. It's more about like inconvenience versus like they can't do it is what I'm hearing. You know, there's this part of them that needs to maybe needs you to like pander to their ego. We're getting this strength card. So just a lot of like overcoming is what I'm hearing with this new moon. But remember, like new moons are really great for intention setting. So when we're able to kind of take that step back, maybe cultivate some time for yourself today to just kind of think things through, process through what's going on in your life. How are things working? Are you taking advantage or things for granted? And what are you, right? Is that things within yourself? Are you putting yourself down or becoming more subservient to other people, other situations in order to kind of make them feel okay, right? Make sure that their ego is fed? Or is this about you taking for granted your gifts, your talents, your abilities, right? And needing to allow those to shine a little bit more. Because that's definitely what the Queen of Wands does. She's not afraid of who she is. She's not afraid of who she is, and she loves sharing that with other people. And as a result, other people are drawn to her. And it kind of looks like you are giving someone something, some power. I mean, here's the thing, like it looks like they're not on steady ground. That's what I'll say. Like they're nervous about whatever your next moves are. There's some difficulty here, and maybe like whatever you're dealing with, things aren't so cut and dry for them either, as maybe it seems like that topically, but it kind of looks like there's a lot going on for them. And they might be living in a lot of fear around the future and not as much in the present moment. That's kind of where I'm seeing this disconnect, right? Two of Pentacles, juggling a lot, having a lot on their plate. And, you know, that's fine, well and good, right? But you're in a place where like, I don't see you necessarily stopping. You've been held back for too long is what it's showing. Like you're finally in this space where it's like, okay, I might have to make hard decisions for my healing, but I'm putting that first. And I think appropriately so, because even if this week or during this new moon or whatever, you're not necessarily seeing this come out, it is coming out. It is surfacing because something isn't really liking the confidence that you're showing up with, or you might be challenging someone a little bit, calling them out on their BS is what I'm hearing. And you kind of know where this is headed. So I'm also hearing like it's really important to prepare. Again, going back to that setting new intentions. Get with yourself today and really figure out a few things that you can do to support yourself, because not everyone is going to do it. And if anything, we're kind of seeing these energies where maybe they're saying they have the best intent, or, you know, whatever, they're trying to be helpful in whatever way, and it really is just not translating as such. There's something about this, like there is a little bit of a withholding energy. It doesn't feel like the pie is cut evenly, so to speak, you know, and there's always more than enough that goes around. When you're living in abundance mindset, that's the key, right? There is more than enough. I listen to myself 100%. Listening to my inner self is meditation. This leads me towards enlightenment. I don't waste my time on distractions and illusions. I avoid gossip and judging others. 100%. So, and that really is the service. That is the service we can do for ourselves, is being able to disconnect from whatever this energy is, really listen and trust our instincts, trust our guidance, and then try to be non-judgmental about how we manage the situation. It's so easy to point the finger, to blame, you did this, you did that, you made me feel this way. 100%, right? That's total valid, totally legit. At the same time, like, make sure you're validating yourself. And I'm a huge believer in I statements, right? Like ownership, taking responsibility for what is yours and trying to leave the other person out of the equation as best as possible, because people just don't take kindly to finger pointing, right? I was born to reveal myself. This is total Queen of Wands energy. My desires, cravings, emotions, happiness are a part of revealing process. I let everything be and allow myself to unfold 100%. And that is so much of what this like Pluto moving into Aquarius is all about. It's about revealing who we are, you know, what your personal brand is, what you bring to the table, what you're passionate about. It's not about trying to play this strategic chess game to beat everybody else, right? It's more about like enlivening oneself, if that makes sense. Enlivening your beauty, your passion, your power. I never easily follow attraction, so be really mindful about this, especially with this narcissistic energy. Black Moon Lilith has also been tensely aspected to Pluto, meaning that around the places that we need to make changes, Black Moon Lilith loves to dangle the proverbial carrot, right? Breadcrumbing, trying to see what she can get out of you, so to speak. So I never follow distractions easily. When I feel attracted to something, I do nothing. I simply observe it. Then the attraction becomes a beautiful expression. I also think that like when we observe, we get way more answers. And I feel like we talked about this in the weekly where it's just like, you know, it's great like to... when we get involved with certain situations, the more we're able to step back, the more it's revealed what exactly it is and who exactly we're dealing with. And I feel like this allows us to not connect with those distractions, really allows us to like stay grounded in self, stay aligned in self, because when we take that step back, we're able to see what's working, what's not, what people are doing, how they act, how they respond, how they treat others, etc. And that right there is our indicator about how that dynamic is going to work for us. It's not easy because it takes a lot of mental effort, right? But that's kind of what this new moon is all about. Recognizing that there is efforts that need to be made, right? But at the same time, when we make those efforts, that's when we're going to taste that sweet victory of success. That's what makes the challenges worth it. So thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Happy new moon in Cancer. I appreciate all your time, energy, always. Maybe I just said that. Sorry. Sometimes I go on repeat. But yeah, definitely drop comments below. I love to hear how it resonates, or just say, hey, sharing a little love, little TLC. Thank you so much for all the love, all the support you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.